20 years ago, Netflix was the disruptor in the entertainment market. It single-handedly took down Blockbuster, the video rentals company, which had revenues of $5 billion in 2020, and in that year, declined to acquire Netflix for just $50 million. Netflix did $30 billion of revenues for the 12 months, 30 September 2023. But now, Netflix itself is in danger of becoming irrelevant. With dwindling subscriber numbers, increasing competition, and slimmer margins, Netflix is battling on a number of fronts to stay important. It knows it needs to innovate to survive, and Netflix understands it needs to keep you on Netflix for longer at all costs if it is to succeed. In this video, find out how Netflix is doubling down on gaming in order to keep you hooked on its platform to prevent it having the same fate as Blockbuster did 20 years ago. Last year, Netflix saw a first decline in subscribers in over a decade. Executives are worried as that could be a sign of things to come. For any tech company, growing users is absolutely critical to survival, and any data that suggests a flatlining of users, and more importantly, a decline in users, is a real cause for concern, as it suggests the value proposition is not hitting with users. There are many reasons that could have led to the poorer performance versus what has historically been the case for Netflix. For starters, there is intense competition in the space Netflix operates in. The rise of newer streaming platforms like Disney+, Apple TV+, HBO Max, and Peacock means more options for viewers. With many of these platforms being backed by media giants, they have the ability to pull their content from Netflix and host it exclusively on their own services, leaving Netflix starved for content. With increased competition, the cost of content licensing has skyrocketed. To counteract this, Netflix has invested heavily in producing original content. However, this is a double-edged sword, as it comes with high costs and the inherent risk of content not always resonating with audiences like you and me. In mature markets like the US, Netflix's growth has slowed down due to market saturation. Many people who are likely to subscribe to Netflix already have, limiting the number of new subscribers, which means Netflix needs to look in other markets to secure growth. And whilst Netflix has made significant strides in expanding globally, it faces challenges in understanding and catering to local tastes, competing with local streaming services, and navigating local regulatory environments, which has also stunted its adoption in new markets. So, if you cannot materially grow through new market entry due to saturation and restrictions in new markets, the next best thing to do is to try and keep existing users coming back to your platform and to offer them something new. Netflix has realized that given the market landscape, it is critical to their success to get users to be more reliant, dependent, and you could even say addicted to their platform. After all, the success of any technology company over the last 20 years has been their ability to get users to keep coming back for more. Facebook, now Meta, recognized the need to acquire Instagram in 2012 to combat some of their own growth challenges. They then subsequently acquired WhatsApp to bring in additional users to their Meta universe. The same is the underlying truth for Netflix. They need to identify how they can bring on board more users that resonate with their core offering of TV and movie content. The case for growth by acquisition, though not impossible, is less clear than it was for Meta, given that was bringing in different social media platforms which had their own users. Netflix realizes that it must first offer something else in addition to TV shows and movies which people typically only watch once before they move on. Netflix must also be able to keep bringing people back for more. Enter gaming. Gaming is a massive industry, with global sales expected to reach $188 billion this year alone. And true gamers can spend hours per day playing their favorite games, from Fortnite to Roblox to Call of Duty. There is perhaps no more loyal following than gamers who wait eagerly for the release of a new version of a popular gaming title. And the motivation and ambition to progress with a like-minded community further underpins engagement with their favorite games. Gaming with the right games is a business model ideally set up to keep having users coming back for more, hour on hour, day by day, year by year. In that regard, once you acquire a user for a quality game, you would have to really mess up in order to lose them. And the opportunity is there for gaming companies to further monetize from those users through additional gaming titles, merchandise, and events. As such, it is no surprise that Netflix turned to gaming as a way to combat its own growth issues. The new offering could also help justify recent price increases we've all seen for our Netflix subscriptions. Netflix decided to get into games in 2020 at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, when people were at home, online, and thinking of how to occupy their time. The initial focus was on mobile games, which appealed to casual gamers and could be downloaded on a smartphone or tablet. This gave data on a larger user base in terms of their appetite for and interest in gaming on the Netflix platform. And the results showed promise and a glimpse of the massive opportunity. Apptopia estimates that less than 1% of Netflix's 247 million subscribers are playing Netflix games daily. But that is only the start. Netflix has its own content base that it can use to grow its gaming IP. People will be intrigued and more interested in playing a game based off their favorite Netflix TV show or movie. In fact, 5 of Netflix's most downloaded games are based on its own shows and movies, and this trend is only expected to continue. Over the next few months, Netflix subscribers will be able to play games on their mobile phones based on super hit shows such as the South Korean thriller Squid Game and the supernatural comedy Wednesday. Similarly, Netflix is also discussing games based on titles such as Extraction, its Sherlock Holmes series, and Black Mirror. This is a smart way of introducing their users to gaming on the platform so they can get used to the idea of Netflix as a gaming platform by playing their favorite shows, something that is already familiar. But relying on owned nascent titles in a massive market will not be enough. Netflix needs to think bigger if it wants to make a real splash in gaming. Netflix is taking steps to expand into higher-end games that can be streamed from TVs or PCs. Thinking bigger with gaming means to take on the big boys of gaming, in particular Microsoft and Sony, and the well-known titles they own and offer. It's worth remembering that Microsoft has just closed its $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard, which comes with well-known titles such as Call of Duty, Guitar Hero, World of Warcraft, and the Candy Crush saga. Netflix's plan is to continue to license well-known games from Bloons TD6 to classic solitaire that currently make up its catalog. However, it has discussed plans to release a game within the popular action-adventure series Grand Theft Auto from Take-Two Interactive Software through a licensing deal. In doing so, Netflix is making its intent crystal clear that it intends to go after the serious gamer, the loyal gamer, the gamer who spends hours per day playing their favorite games, and in so doing, will continue to come back to Netflix day after day after day. I believe Grand Theft Auto is only the beginning though. If Netflix can get the technology right, there are many game licenses Netflix can bring to their platform, and with them, a cohort of super loyal users. The challenge, however, will be a technical one. Serious gamers are acutely aware of an inferior gaming experience, even if it is by only the slightest of margins, and so Netflix will have to invest heavily in providing a seamless gaming experience if they are to have any chance of moving users from Microsoft or from Sony. That being said, the gaming industry's move to cloud gaming, where expensive consoles become obsolete, can only help Netflix's cause, and I suspect they are betting on this. The Netflix Game Controller is a new app that can turn your smartphone into a controller so that games can effectively be played on a TV or computer, an ecosystem being set up to facilitate Netflix's intentions. For the moment, Netflix is not likely to increase revenues from gaming. Instead, the focus will be to get users to keep coming back to their platform when their favorite shows are in between seasons, which will help retain subscribers and attract new ones. And if they can get the big titles on their platform and execute technically, then they will have a chance of further increasing a user base that is more loyal than they've ever had before. The focus to take more of our time is not an admission of failure of Netflix's core strategy of providing engaging and fresh content to viewers. It has proved that it has been able to continuously grow this business year on year for over a decade. The focus on gaming is a demonstration of the great ambition Netflix has of becoming more than a place where you go for your TV shows and movies. It is a clear intent of a drive to become a holistic entertainment platform where you can also go to play games over the cloud, which is the direction the gaming industry is going in anyway. In time, this will likely develop to enable the creation of vibrant and loyal communities of players who interact with each other on Netflix gaming in order to talk about their favorite games, much like gamers already do on platforms such as Twitch, or Discord. In so doing, I believe Netflix is creating a circular loop of getting its users more engaged with its media content and its gaming titles to lead to the creation of an altogether different type of media behemoth. Critical to this will be getting the technology to be world-class, provide a seamless gaming experience. One thing is for sure though, Netflix has learned lessons from the incumbent Blockbuster that it displaced 20 years ago. It knows that innovation is essential if you want to stay relevant. If you want to check out my video on the increasing levels of M&A in the gaming sector, you can check out the video at the top and in the description box below. Thanks for watching.